Say everyone can suck a dick. All these other rappers can suck my fucking dick. If you don't support me, bro, I don't support you. It's all love. If there's love given, that's how it is, bro.
Stepped in, life's got threat.
67, lad.
Let's go, Doonside. Fucking hell.
Fuck with a nuisance, lose it.
Mitchos the Menace is one of Australia's most respected and talented rap artists. Here's his story so far. Mitchos grew up in Doonside, Western Sydney. He first got introduced to hip-hop through his brother's cassette tapes, which consisted of NWA, Westside Connection and Cypress Hill.
First was, my brothers, bro, brought home a fucking Cypress Hill CD. And Westside Connections, Ice Cube. And the other one was the NWA one. So them three things was like, mad. They'll go out, bro. I'm allowed to fuck with their CD player because I wasn't allowed to use it and shit. My older brothers and shit. So they'll go out, I'll put them three on and I fucking just sit in front of it, bro, and just be like, studying this shit. And I'm like, wow, this is like, I want to do this shit, yeah?
He first started getting into music by freestyling at parties and then realising he had some actual talent. He didn't take rap seriously for quite a few years, as he was heavily involved in the streets and had a lot of home issues going on at the time.
For me, rap started years ago. It was just parties, bro. You're at parties. I'm like, oh, mad. Everyone's having a little drink. We're all young. I hung around all the older boys when I was young. I'm from Doonside. So, you know, things were always like parties or fights or some shit like that, bro. And I was like, oh, let's freestyle. And then the people were like, what are you doing, bro? You should write shit down. You're good. And then, but when you're young, I'm not like thinking about, yeah, let's write them down. I'm going through fucking home troubles and shit, bro, and all troubles in my life. So it wasn't the first thing I wanted to do. It was like, yeah, let's pick a pen up. So I'm like, let's just fuck around and rap and freestyle and rip people up at parties. Just full battle them and just chomp them.
Around this time, he was heavily involved in the streets and a lot of his mates were getting locked up. Menace didn't want to go that route, so he went away and lived with his grandma. It was here that he met his mate Alex. They set up a studio and started recording music flat out. Even back then, Mitchos had such a high work rate. He was also listening to a lot of Enter and Cursor at the time. He knew fellow rapper Forte from the area. He told him all the way back then that one day he's going to be alongside him rapping. This was a big statement, as Mitchos back then hadn't released any music. Forte told him to come see him when he was ready. Back in 2014, he also met Cursor. He featured heavily in the film clip for the song Taken Away. This also opened opportunities to act on another ad and get paid cash for it. He even got asked to do a cameo on Home and Away but politely declined. At the time, he was working on his debut album titled Straight Menace No Chasers. He told Forte about the album, and Forte told him he should release it through his label At Large Productions, so he did. The album gained him a bit of a buzz and included some heavy features such as Forte, Cursor and Hijack.
What you thinking? No interest in living. Voodoo flow now. Watch you put the pin in. Please, Lord, forgive them. Fuck that. Leave none left till they give me.
While the album was received pretty well, Mitchos admits that he rushed the album just so he could get some music out to the world.
Kind of like, I feel like I rushed that album, but don't get me wrong. That song's mad. That Straight Menace No Chasers. But a lot of them on it was just me finding flow, you know, because I went from freestyles to just starting to write straight away. And then that's the album, bro. I just wrote and done that straight away. I've only been writing since then. 5 years.
While Menace wasn't particularly happy with the album, I still think there's some classic songs on there that you should go check out. While he now had his foot in the door, he started to work on his relationships in the industry, including TKO, That Kid Curvy, Nebs and Husky. He was also gearing up at the time to drop his next project titled Menace MDMA. The project was definitely a step up, with a lot of production from Westy and Carney classics from Posse Shot. The project had some massive features such as Curvy, Enter, Forte and Taunts. It even featured a soul interlude track from Husky. Husky would then go on to show appreciation to Menace for putting him on a solo track on the album. But the standout track on the album was Power of Rhyme featuring Kid Curvy. It now has nearly 1.5 million views just on Spotify.
It's that power of rhyme. I've lost the plot, I can't find it. I went to reach for it, but you know I don't mind it. I take a seat for it, but it's only for the time being. I feel like a speck of dust up in a light stream. Yeah, they only like me when the light seems out of sight, out of mind thing. And if you're down for my rhyme.
Around this time, he also formed his own collective titled Menace Gang. While he was happy releasing music through Forte's label, he wanted to stand on his own 2 feet and not follow in anyone else's shadow. One thing I've respected about Mitchos' career, he always stands on his own 2 feet, never clout chases and never asks us for handouts. Recently after the album dropped, he also featured on Triple One song Wildfire with Chillinit. It now has nearly 2 million views on YouTube. He showed no signs of slowing down at all. Just a year after his last project, he dropped his next project titled Silence. The project is definitely another step up, and Mitchos takes his lyricism to a new level. With not as many features, although it did include some features from Little Snow and Alex Jones, on the album, Mitchos is a lot more personal and becomes vulnerable. This allows Mitchos to gain a bigger fan base than he already had. One of the standout tracks on the album is The Art Form, which now has nearly 500,000 views on YouTube.
There's only space in that place where's a heart gone. I risked it all for this art form. I'm getting sore in this dark storm. Sick of more, but the star's gone. I'm too clouded, I sink in my thoughts in it. Gets crowded, I trip and I fall, you know it.
If you're enjoying this video and want to show support to Mitchos the Menace, head over to mitchosthemenace.com where you can find all his merchandise and buy physical copies of his album. Mitchos also got hit up by Universal to do a joint album with Husky and Alex Jones. This never eventuated, but something hopefully we can see in the future.
Hit up by that Ben from here. Hilltop, fucking Ben
Oh,
Martin.
Ben Martin. Yeah.
Cool dude. He's like, I want to do I want a joint album, you, Alex and Husky. Would have been fucking fire. And they're like, we'll give you this percent at that, we're going to do it. Husky was like, oh, I don't know, because like Husky doesn't need to do this shit. Flea doesn't need to do this shit either, realistically. Everyone can do their own things and we can still do it.
Yeah.
But it was something that would have been cool for the fucking public, man, and cool for, like, we're ready, bro. We're like, all gassed up because we're going through our shit at the stage.
In 2019, he did a lot of collaborating and featured on many people's albums such as OMAC, Complete, Morns, Cogs, and Fracture. During all this, he was also touring a lot, including the legendary Apocalypse Tour in 2019. Then, in early 2020, he dropped his track Heartless, which now has over 350,000 views on YouTube and is a fan favourite.
We chewed it up like venom when you spewed it up. Like damn, we've been through the stuff like why the fuck you choosing us? Your anger and your temperament when boozing up. I still feel this is relevant, so I'm throwing shit like excrement. It's best because it's built up.
Then later that year in 2020, he dropped his album Pray For Them. This is his most successful album yet, and personally, I think it's his best. On the album, he switches up his sound on tracks like No Good For You.
Taking 10, she the perfect flame, she gonna burn them dead. Lady, why? They see I'm crazy.
And gets very deep and personal on his track Heartless.
Piss and red, no chance I was young, we ain't finished yet. See the man up and coming.
Pray For Them drops on the 28th of May. So we're, 2 or 3 weeks out from the release. And let me tell you my reasons why I'm excited for this LP. I'm excited because I feel like Mitchos has a story to tell. And that is important for me.
During Mitchos' career, he's also done collaborations with G'd Up Clothing, Beyond Blue, and got a write-up in the Source magazine. During the last few years, Mitchos has dropped plenty of singles, including his latest track Harvey Dent, which you should go check out. During Mitchos' career, he's definitely pushed barriers and not been known as a one-dimensional rapper. From now to the start of his career, you can see that his growth as a man and as a rapper has been incredible.
He's fucking that, you know?
Yeah.
It's more, I feel there's more. As you grow up and you get older, like I've been in this game for like 6 years now. I feel like you grow as an artist. You become an artist. You start as a rapper, you become an artist. I feel like I'm at that stage now.
Fuck yeah. That's tight as fuck.
In 2022, Mitchos the Menace remains one of the most respected and talented artists in this scene. This has been the story so far by Desired Oz Rap. Please like, subscribe, comment and share. Thank you.